Hello, because I'm feeling fasty today, we're going to do this mod guide in my best Roman Polanski impression. As you know, many of you wonder why I do not fight with a Magnus very much. It's very simple. The last time I had a Magnus, I cannibalized it and used it in a fire strike. But today, we got to war against a guy, as a few guys, with the shield and the swords made out of foam, and you know what I'm saying. So, we have bought the Mega Magnus. These are on sale at Target for $11.25 right now. I highly recommend you get these, okay? But first we have to cut the ties. I'll tell you why I'm not very hot on this blaster. There's a few reasons. First off, my theater of play is usually outside of 80 feet, as where this blaster can only really, well, go about 80 feet, if you do your best. The ammo is like giant parachutes in the sky, and usually I like better ballistics. But because I'm going up against an extremely great zombie sword fighter and shield guy named Daryl. He's in my league. Sorry if I've teased you in the last few vids, but in reality, he's very good. I'm not kidding. I'm doing the impression, but I'm not kidding. He's very good. So I have to arm myself up, you see. The last time we played, other than the last rounds where I was behind a lot of cover, the first thing he did was go for me, which is smart. Take out your sniper. That's very bright. And he got me. He got me and several others, actually. So we're going to take apart a Magnus, and I'm going to show you what to do with it. Make a box. Very powerful. Okay. Here is our Magnus. First thing you need to do, take apart the slide mechanism. You know, I'm not even going to fire this thing. Right out of the box. I'm not interested in what it does at stock range. I'm not at all. Why should I give it again? You know? So here we go. So at any rate, we have our side mechanism. Let me show you what's going to happen when I take this apart. It will not completely come apart. And why is that? Because it is bound up over here. So you have to get to this bolt back in here. See, it's that corner bolt. And you have to unscrew that. That's the key. A lot of people try to take these apart and they are unable to. So then you gotta take the rest of the shell apart. That's so. We're gonna do two mods. We're going to do a spring mod, and we're going to do a locks mod, because as many of you know, I do not like locks, especially in my house. Definitely. I'm not living in the countryside. In the countryside of France, because I'm not fucking welcome in America anymore. And many of you know why that is. Okay. That is. Getting all the fucking screws in. That should be good. Okay. So now I take this apart. Oh, what's this? I glue this top part on me? Oh no, here we go. There it is. Boom, voila. Okay. So our top is off. As you'll see, this is bound and it's snapped into here. You want to keep these springs in place. Don't fuck with them, okay? You want to keep everything alone. You want to keep your entire magazine, everything. You just want to leave it alone, alright? But I'm going to put this back, don't lose any screws, and I am going to take this, right here. I'm going to take this out, okay? There's several screws, the black screws if I remember correctly. Take this over here, and take out my trigger mechanism. This is a nice mechanism. Many people might think, if I take this and this, I might be able to use this for like a rifle or something like that later, you know. But for right now, we're just going to concentrate on the pistol. Okay. As you can see, there's your trigger mechanism, but as you can see, there are locks that prohibit its function if such is happening. It goes down, it goes up. It goes down, it goes up. Okay, down. You will see them. Okay, so here's what you do. You'll see these little tabs right here. The first one you want to remove, actually you just want to remove all of them. Every single fucking one. The reason is very simple. We don't want anything in our way. Take these two screws right here. Alright? Don't mess with this back here. That's your trick. Right? Boom and boom. Okay. Take this tab, bend it forward. Like so. This tab, bend it forward. Get that out. Get that out. Goodbye lock. Goodbye lock. Goodbye lock. Goodbye screw. No, goodbye spring. All this nice stuff. That is actually molded in the plastic. I don't know how they did that. Maybe they accidentally glued it. There's that button. There's this right here. Alright, get rid of this crane assembly. Right there. Now, close the whole thing back up by snapping it back onto place. If you want to screw it, okay, you'll take this right here, and it will take this as so. And you just button it down. See? Okay, so what I've done now is I've now stopped any prohibition of the operation of this blaster from ever occurring. Okay? I like this, look at this, they strengthened the catch. This used to be 3 holes, and now it's just that, it's 2. This means I don't have to epoxy this. Last time I did this, I had to epoxy the whole thing. It wasn't a friend. Okay? So, let's see here. There is a spring inside here, right here. Okay? You have to take that out and replace that with a black tactical spring. Let me get the spring. Okay? So, this is a black tactical double trigger catch spring right here. Many people cannot get past 8 kilograms with this. There are other reasons other than this, but in reality, the first thing you gotta do is fix that. Okay? I like the fact that they updated the catch on this. The last one I had, the catch was hollow, and I was afraid to go past 8 kilograms. Now I can go farther, but not in this video. Some other time. I'm just too busy to tinker at the moment. I've got too much to do. Now, take this right here, and you take out the catch. Remember, this plastic is somewhat bendable. Okay? Oh, what's this? We use a stronger catch spring now too. What the hell is interesting? Do I want to keep... I'm debating very strongly if I'm going to keep this catch spring. I've decided I'm keeping it. Why? Because now this catch spring is strong enough. Obviously they had some catch problems with this blaster. And they decided that they were going to update the catch. They did. They updated the catch. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Very impressed. However, what I am seeing here is that this catch doesn't really... Wow, okay. Never mind. I take that back. I don't like it. It's too shabby. Not to mention, but on the same chassis, I actually use a black tactical on the same thing, and I'm not black tactical, sorry, Orange Modworks trigger catch spring, and I really like it. It fits this assembly system much better. So you take this, you bend it out, be sure not to break the white plastic. this back over here. Boy, they made this very close this time. I'm not sure if I like the changes they have done. Done. Put this back together here. Anybody who knows me knows that I can work with pretty much everything and get it working. That's not my problem. The problem is, alright, let's think about this Mickey Mouse piece of shit. Okay. Nothing against Disney, by the way. It's just, you know. And the criteria of good, cheap, and fast, they usually want everything good and cheap. Which is, of course, the motto of Pick-to only. If you guys don't know what that is, go back to engineering school. Or marketing school. Okay. So here we have it right here. Okay. Okay, so it goes like that. It does actually go like that. You can see the trigger cam in action. Right here. This is the trigger cam for the Magnus. Many people wonder why I favor certain designs, like the Fire Strike and the Star Shot. Well, this is a good reason. Look at this puny little finger right here. It's thin, it's small. I don't like it. It's too much. So, okay. Well, obviously they wanted more reach. I can kind of see why they wanted more reach. It now occurs to me. You're not gonna believe this. They put this in the wrong fucking hole. Either that or I put it back in the wrong hole. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. There it is. That looks like it. I'm gonna review the video. I don't think this thing would have fired. You put it in the wrong hole. Dude. It's freaking crazy. And that's got some creep compression right there. I'm keeping it. The new spring for the Magnus is actually very, very good. I can't believe it. Wait, was it version 2 fit the... I mean, not the version 2. Why do I keep calling it version 2? Nope. I'll put the normal trigger spring there. It's gated by... There it is. There's the mechanism. You all saw me take it apart. Wow. I think that they had done fucked up in the factory. But, of course, you can't get past the master model. Okay. So there's the whole cam assembly for the trigger. See it? Okay. Put back your screws, especially the one for the trigger. You don't want that coming loose and out. As so. Put in mind, if it's too tight there, loosen this slightly. Always check your cam work before you put your blaster in. Okay, so let's see here. Okie doke. Now, we're doing a very simple mod. I'll tell you why I'm not taking the AI out in a second. But for right now, what I need to do, I need to unhook the magazine spring. I need to take this right here. And I need to remove this whole thing as so. Give it a little. Okay. Time flies when I'm having fun. Alright, so there it is. There's basically my whole assembly right there. So it is. The plunger is right in there, and it rests on the spring itself. So what you have to do is you have to take out the spring. That's the main spring. It's about 5 kilos. Now this is a stock Stampede spring. A lot of people have stock Stampede springs left over like I do for the simple reason that we usually mod them. The Stampedes at the box, of course, they ridiculously suck. Goes like so. I'm gonna put my it's a 7/8 spring with a thin wire gauge. Put that in this. Then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put it in to this holder right here. As you can see, you had better reinforce this whole back thing with a puck. Actually, you can't, because that's a slide, isn't it? See? You can't reinforce this, and this is like cheap ABS. This would totally break. If I decided to go like 20 kilograms, or maybe 25, or whatever mind-blowing freaking, power that I like to do in my usual fits of alcoholic insanity, yeah, it would totally break. It would fucking break. Okay, there's no way about it. I'm guessing that my friend Trix 1204, she would say, God, Chris, why do you have to imitate Roman Polanski? I'm sick of Europeans already. I'm just getting back from the damn place. Sorry. You know me. Okay. That's a little plug to one of my friends who has a very, very good blog. I would like you to see it. It might make your day, or you may have a psychotic episode. But either way, I'm pretty much to guarantee no psychotic episode. You'll be okay. Okay. Put in your trigger assembly as so. There it is. So that is nice. They have updated it, but when I found it, I believe it was back here for some reason. It was weird. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So then put the whole thing back together, as so. Make sure that this lines up to that. Of course, you'll have to, or else it will not go to that. And on this blaster, your bolt slide is actually the slide itself. This is what I think they need to do on a lot of the blasters, like your side strike. Why didn't they just make, if they had this thing going, and why didn't they just have a cartridge mechanism on the side strike? Maybe they wanted to do it, they decided not to do it. Instead, the whole thing, the main spring is held by a pin, which anything past 8 kilograms will break it. Dumb. Especially since Chris Cartaya likes to mod fire strike type pistols far outside of 8 kilograms. And I don't mean to be rude to the people in Orange Mod Works, but 7 kilograms, come on guys. Who's gonna pay that much for 7 kilograms? I mean, everybody knows that a fire strike can safely go to 8, even with a very highly compressed speed spring on it. Why? Now, let me ask you something else. You guys are gonna say, okay, Chris, with the Roman Polanski voice. I'm taking the bottom of the shell here. Why am I doing this before I'm securing this? Because I want to secure the trigger mechanism first. Always secure your trigger mechanism and your mainspring. Secure those first. Back of the blaster first. That's what you want, and then work your way up. Forget about feeding. Feeding you work on the field anyway. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to take this right here. You need to bolt this. Why? Of course it makes it easier to unassemble, but by doing this, you're increasing the strength of the two, and you're making it so when the springs go back, it stresses together better. Okay? You want this screwed down. Even if you're keeping it stock, I don't give a shit. Okay? I just don't give a shit. Okay, so now there is an idea. Let me open this up real quick. There is an idea. Maybe you could put a metal plate back here, back before it meets these two little tabs back here. And maybe you could bolt it on there, and that might give it a little more strength. But for the most part, a Magnus has limits people don't think of. A fire strike, because of its integral operation, it has less structural limits. They're small, so they build the blasters to be a little more beefier than the bigger ones. They have to cut down on the plastic usage on a blaster like this. It's huge. It's a huge blaster. I mean, this thing's big. It's likened to a big quarter pounder of cheese or something. Okay, maybe those aren't big, but it's anything. Ah, I have this up. I have to take it apart. Shit. Oh, it happens. It happens. You guys see the mistake I made? Anyways. Shit. Okay, let's try to get out of trouble. I got it. Yep, there it is. Alright. Another thing I don't like about the Mega Magnus, okay, is this feeding device right here in the front. Okay? It has zero tolerance. The first one I had one of the first ones, had zero tolerance whatsoever of this slide being out from being forward. Zero. Now, of course, as you know, if your mainspring is engaged, you don't have any slide back to it. I was thinking of using not a compression spring, but I forget what kind they call it. The one that stretches. And I was thinking about taking a spring and making it so that it puts tension on it to make sure that this is closed on the top. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, here we go. Trigger works. No watch. There it is. Okay, hold the load. Very nice. Now, here's the trick with Magnus. You have these two. These two, it put in a lot of air and they cause a lot of air resistance. They whistle, they're scary, but they slow it down. Me, I'm more concerned about aerodynamics. And if possible, I mean, I like to cut down that people know that I'm shooting at them. For example, I was up against one day an extremely talented bow and vortex player in the Southern California Union of North. His name is Nate Little. Okay, and he was using a zing bow, but it had a whistle on it. So, because it has a whistle on it, I was able to hit. I was able to hit coming my way or close to me, and take caution. These do the same thing. They don't go as fast, but they do the same thing. Okay? So watch this. I'm going to close it up, right? I'm going to close it up. Watch. Look at that. It doesn't completely... See? You can only be... I'm going to put it to a point where it's slightly up. You can only be that off. That off. And you'll inhibit and you'll prohibit the speed of the dart. You have to make sure that it's slammed. So when you fire, rack, rack, like that. Okay? It makes that much more a difference. I don't take out the air restrictor. I can take out the air restrictor. Why don't I take out the air restrictor? Very simple. It doesn't make that much of balls of difference. The darts themselves are already giant parachutes. You gain maybe 5 feet at most, and I want to maintain that the darts don't blow out much more easy. So very, very simple. I just keep it in. So, this is what I'm talking about. Rack, rack. Rack, rack. That's it. That's it right there.